Welcome to my channel. Value quarter dollar. The 1972 United States half dollar is one of the most recognizable modern American coins. It features the portrait of John F. Kennedy, and it belongs to the famous Kennedy half dollar series that began in 1964 shortly after President Kennedy's assassination. The coin was struck by the United States Mint and was intended for circulation throughout the United States. By 1972, half dollars were no longer commonly used in everyday transactions. But they remained popular among collectors and citizens who admired Kennedy. The obverse front of the coin displays Kennedy's left-facing portrait designed by Gilroy Roberts. Around the edge appear the words, Liberty, the date, 1972, and the national motto, In God We Trust. The motto is placed beneath Kennedy's neck and symbolizes the nation's historical acknowledgement of faith and spiritual values. The phrase first appeared on U.S. coins during the 19th century and later became a standard feature on most American coinage. The reverse back of the 1972 half dollar features the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. At the center is a heraldic eagle with wings spread wide. The eagle holds an olive branch in one claw, representing peace, and arrows in the other claw, representing readiness to defend the nation. Above the eagle is a cluster of stars surrounded by rays. Around the edge of the coin are the words, United States of America, and half dollar. Above the eagle appears the Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, which translates as, out of many, one. This motto reflects the union of many states, peoples, and backgrounds into a single nation. It has been associated with the United States since the 18th century and remains one of the country's most important traditional mottos. The 1972 Kennedy half dollar was struck mainly in a copper nickel-clad composition rather than silver. The coin consists of outer layers of copper nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This composition was introduced after rising silver prices led the government to reduce and eventually eliminate silver from most circulating coins. The coin weighs approximately 11.34 grams, has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. Millions of these coins were produced at the mint facilities in Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark, while those from Philadelphia in 1972 generally have no mint mark. For collectors, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar represents an important period in American numismatic history. It reflects the transition from precious metal coinage to modern clad coinage and serves as a reminder of the lasting legacy of President Kennedy. Although common circulated examples are usually worth only a modest premium above face value, well-preserved uncirculated specimens and high-grade certified examples can command higher prices. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete date and mint collections of Kennedy half dollars, and the 1972 issue is a necessary part of that series. The inscriptions on the coin carry deep meaning. Liberty represents the foundational American ideal of freedom. In God We Trust expresses a traditional national motto emphasizing faith and trust in divine guidance. E pluribus unum celebrates unity among diverse states and citizens. United States of America identifies the issuing nation, while half dollar states the denomination. Together these inscriptions make the coin not only a monetary instrument but also a miniature work of national symbolism, history, and art. Today, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar remains widely collected because of its connection to President Kennedy, its attractive design, and its historical significance. Whether found in a collection, inherited from family, or discovered in circulation, the coin offers a fascinating glimpse into American history, culture, and values. Its portrait, eagle design, patriotic mottos, and durable clad composition continue to make it one of the most studied and appreciated modern coins produced by the United States. The next top. The 1985 P. Kennedy half dollar is a United States 50-cent coin struck at the Philadelphia Mint in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The P. mint mark, found on the obverse front of the coin, identifies it as having been produced at this mint. The coin continues the Kennedy half dollar series first issued in 1964 to honor John F. Kennedy after his assassination in 1963. By 1985, the coin was primarily produced for collectors and circulation. Although half dollars were no longer widely used in everyday commerce in the United States. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts. Above the portrait appears the word, Liberty, stretching around the upper rim of the coin. The national motto, In God We Trust, is prominently displayed below Kennedy's neck and above the date, 1985. Around the coin's edge are small denticles and a raised rim that protect the design from wear. The reverse, back, of the 1985 P. Kennedy half-dollar displays the presidential seal. Inspired design created by Frank Gasparo. At the center is a heraldic eagle with wings spread wide. The eagle holds an olive branch in its right talon, symbolizing peace. And a bundle of arrows in its left talon, symbolizing readiness to defend the nation. A shield covers the eagle's breast, representing strength and unity. Above the eagle is a cluster of stars surrounded by rays. Encircling the design are the words, United States of America, and half-dollar. The Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one, appears above the eagle's head. This motto reflects the union of many states and peoples into a single nation. The coin contains a copper core sandwiched between outer layers of copper. Nickel alloy, giving it a silvery appearance while reducing the silver content that earlier half-dollars contained. The 1985 P. Kennedy half-dollar weighs approximately 11.34 grams. Has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and features a reeded edge with 150 ridges. Its composition is 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper center. Millions of examples were struck at the Philadelphia Mint during 1985, making the coin common in circulated grades. However, high-grade uncirculated specimens with strong luster and minimal contact marks are more desirable to collectors. Coins graded Mint State 65 and above by professional grading services often command premiums compared with circulated. Examples: special mint sets and well-preserved rolls are also collected by numismatists who focus on the Kennedy half-dollar series. The inscriptions on the coin carry important historical and symbolic meaning. Liberty represents the foundational American ideal of freedom. In God We Trust became the official motto of the United States in 1956 and appears on all modern U.S. coins and currency. E pluribus unum has been used on U.S. coinage since the nation's earliest years and remains one of the country's most recognized mottos. Together, these inscriptions connect the 1985 P. Kennedy half-dollar to broader themes of national identity, unity, faith, and democratic values. Collectors often examine the coin for strike quality, luster, toning, and preservation. Because half-dollars circulated less frequently than quarters or dimes during the 1980s, many examples remain in relatively good condition. Some collectors assemble complete date and mint sets of Kennedy half-dollars, while others seek error coins, high-grade certified pieces, or coins from original mint packaging. Although the 1985 P coin is not considered rare, it remains an important part of the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series and a tangible piece of American numismatic history. Today, the 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar serves as both a collectible and a historical artifact. It commemorates President Kennedy's legacy while displaying enduring national symbols such as the eagle, the shield, the olive branch, the arrows, and the mottos, In God We Trust, and E pluribus unum. For many collectors, the coin represents an accessible and affordable way to explore the history of modern United States coinage and the continuing evolution of one of America's most recognizable commemorative circulating coin series. The next top. The 1988 P United States half-dollar is the Kennedy half-dollar, a 50-cent coin issued by the United States Mint. The P Mint mark indicates that it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The coin continues the Kennedy half-dollar series first introduced in 1964 to honor John F. Kennedy following his assassination. On the obverse, front, of the coin is a left-facing portrait of Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts. Above the portrait appears the word, Liberty, stretching around the upper rim. The national motto, In God We Trust, is displayed below Kennedy's neck, while the date, 1988, appears at the bottom. The phrase, In God We Trust, has been used on most U.S. coins for many years and reflects a historical tradition adopted by the United States government during the 19th century. On the reverse, back, of the coin is the presidential seal-inspired design created by Frank Gasparro. It features a heraldic eagle with wings spread, holding an olive branch and arrows, symbolizing peace and readiness to defend the nation. Above the eagle are stars and rays, while around the edge is the inscription, United States of America. The denomination, $50, appears at the bottom. Also featured prominently is the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, one. This motto represents the union of the states and the coming together of diverse peoples into a single nation. The 1988 P. Kennedy $50 was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition consisting of an inner copper core covered by outer layers of copper and nickel. It weighs approximately 11.34 grams, has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge. Although millions were produced, most entered circulation only in limited quantities because $50 were not widely used in everyday commerce by the late 1980s. As a result, many examples were saved by collectors. Coins in circulated condition are generally worth close to face value, while uncirculated specimens may command a premium depending on quality and grading. Collectors often search for high-grade examples, mint state coins, and varieties. The Kennedy $50 series remains one of the most collected modern American coin series because of its connection to President Kennedy, its patriotic symbols, and its historic inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and E pluribus unum, all of which reflect important themes in United States history, national identity, and civic tradition. The next top. The 1992 P. United States $50 is a circulating commemorative style coin of American history and symbolism, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the P. Mint mark. The coin belongs to the long-running Kennedy $50 series, first issued in 1964 shortly after the assassination of John F. Kennedy. By 1992, the $50 was primarily produced for collectors and saw limited circulation in everyday commerce. On the obverse, front, of the coin appears the left-facing portrait of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. Around the portrait is the word, Liberty, one of the most important ideals in American political culture. The phrase, In God We Trust, appears below Kennedy's neck. This motto was adopted as the official motto of the United States in 1956 and appears on all modern U.S. coins and paper currency. The date 1992 is shown at the bottom, while the mint mark P identifies the coin as having been struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse, back, of the coin features the presidential seal adapted for coinage by engraver Frank Gasparro. At the center is a heraldic eagle with wings spread wide. The eagle holds an olive branch in one talon, symbolizing peace, and arrows in the other, representing readiness to defend the nation. A shield covers the eagle's chest, reflecting strength and unity among the states. Above the eagle is a ring of stars representing the states of the Union. Surrounding the reverse design are the inscriptions, United States of America, and $50. Another important inscription is, E pluribus unum, a Latin phrase meaning, out of many, one. This motto expresses the idea that many states, peoples, and cultures form a single nation. The phrase has been associated with the United States since the 18th century and remains one of the country's most recognizable national mottos. The 1992 P. Kennedy $50 was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition consisting of outer layers of copper, nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs approximately 11.34 grams, has a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and features a reeded edge. Although millions were minted, many examples were saved by collectors because $50 were not commonly used in daily transactions by the 1990s. For coin collectors, the value of a 1992 P. Kennedy half-dollar depends heavily on condition. Circulated examples generally trade close to face value, while uncirculated specimens with strong luster and minimal marks can command higher prices. Special mint set examples preserved in original packaging are often sought by collectors assembling complete Kennedy half-dollar collections. The coin serves as a small piece of American history. Through its portrait of President Kennedy, the ideals represented by liberty, the national motto "In God We Trust," and the historic Latin phrase "E pluribus unum." The 1992 P half-dollar reflects important themes in the political and cultural identity of the United States. Even though it is only worth 50 cents in face value, it carries decades of historical significance, artistic design, and symbolism that continue to interest collectors around the world. The next top. The 2001 D United States Kennedy half-dollar is a 50-cent coin struck at the Denver Mint in 2001. The D mint mark, found on the obverse front of the coin near Kennedy's neck, identifies it as a Denver Mint issue. The obverse features the portrait of John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date 2001. Liberty arches along the top rim of the coin, while "In God We Trust" is divided on either side of Kennedy's neck. The motto, "In God We Trust," became the official national motto of the United States in 1956 and appears on all modern U.S. coins. The Kennedy half-dollar series began in 1964 shortly after President Kennedy's assassination and remains one of the most recognizable American coin designs. On the reverse back of the 2001 D half-dollar is the presidential coat of arms, adapted by Frank Gasparo. The design shows a heraldic eagle with a shield on its breast, holding an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other, symbolizing peace and readiness to defend the nation. Above the eagle is a ring of stars representing the states of the Union. Around the upper rim appears the inscription "United States of America," while the denomination half-dollar is displayed below. The Latin phrase "E pluribus unum," meaning, "out of many, one," is prominently placed above the eagle's head. This historic motto reflects the union of many states and peoples into one nation and has appeared on U.S. coinage since the late 18th century. The 2001 D Kennedy half-dollar is composed of a copper-nickel-clad outer layer bonded to a pure copper core. Weighs approximately 11.34 grams, measures 30.61 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Although millions were struck, most were released primarily for collectors rather than widespread circulation, making high-grade uncirculated examples especially attractive to numismatists. Today, the 2001 D Kennedy half-dollar is valued both as a modern collectible and as a piece of American history, carrying the patriotic inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and "E pluribus unum" that represent the ideals, heritage, and unity of the United States.